What's up everybody, Sunkissed here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over a Holy Fire slash Flamer build. I have honestly slept on the Holy Fire for quite a while now, given how good the Elder's Mark and the Enclave Plasma Flamer are, but the Holy Fire honestly does keep up with it when you're farming the EN06 Guardian. So hopefully you enjoy the video, and I'd like to know, what is your favorite heavy weapon down in the comments. Alright, catch you at the end. Now I'll go ahead and get active here. Oh, that's some pretty good DPS there. That's going to be a good run. I can feel it. All right, so it might be a little difficult to get the Scorched Beast to land, but we'll try here. Go ahead and just fight some of the... probably take care of that. One burst there. Oh, we got it to land right away. Nice. So far, doing pretty well. Yeah, and that was a legendary too, and it got pretty much melted, to be honest. Not even a full mag to take it out. Ooh, let's go take out this crowd of them right here. Ooh, had to reload that. Holy Fire is just a fun weapon to use too. It's kind of one of those classic weapons that everybody's got somewhat fond memories of. Yeah, it does not does not mess around taking down Scorched Beasts. All right, we're gonna see how we do against the Supermutants. I don't anticipate it'll be much of a challenge at all here, but I might as well give it a try, right? So we're gonna use Vast just because. See what we do on a crit here. 750. Not terrible. Try actual improvement here. 1245 on a crit. Not bad. Just go ahead and aim too. Not too difficult. More or less, we essentially just graze them with the fire and they're dying. So not much of a challenge from the super mutants. We're over at the Grindstone Arch. Let's go build up some adrenaline by taking out the normal super mutants real quick here, and then we'll go fight a super mutant behemoth. Not too many problems taking those guys out. Let's get on over there before our adrenaline wears out, hopefully. All right, don't imagine I have some sort of disease right now. Not sure what it is, but oh well. All right, let's see what sort of damage we can get here. Yeah, as expected. Also took that out pretty quickly. All right, let's see why the Holy Fire might be one of the best crowd control weapons in Fallout 76 here. We have a ton of ghouls just gathered up. And so far, just... Why is there a rat stag in here? That's funny. Yeah, we haven't even used up half of our mag yet, and as you can see, we've just taken out a ton of enemies. Yeah, this thing is just really nice for crowd control, taking on, and taking on regular mob. All right, fight some Mirelurks. I'm sure the regular Mirelurks are also gonna just kind of get melted here, but yeah, not much of a challenge here at all. So we are gonna have to get a little close to this Mirelurk Queen here, so we're gonna heal up just a little bit, and then we're gonna get ready to take our coffee or our whatchamacallit, so we can stay in vats here. Okay, just leave me alone for a second. Let me take my stuff here. Seems to not be wanting to register here. Yeah, it's just like not registering when hitting the spouts. Got the job done, but it was being kind of buggy with registering shots there. I imagine if I just shot it without using VATS or that registered faster, probably would have taken it down quickly. Starting off with our weapon here today, we have the Holy Fire with various weapon speed, less AP cost, and pinpointers. And the modifications on it are the Napalm tank, long barrel, and huge propellant tank. Now, I know what you're thinking. Less AP cost is not a really commonly used star for the Holy Fire, but this weapon is pretty darn good in VATS, and that's how I recommend you using it against bosses at least. So that's how we're running that. For the armor, we have one piece of Chameleon, and then the rest are troubleshooters. This is my EN06 farming armor, so it's going to be a little bit different than what I use on some of the other bosses, and I'll go over that other armor set in just a moment here. But it's, like I said, troubleshooters, +2 intelligence, food, drink, chem weight reduction, and reflective. And it is a Vulcan armor. Using calibrated shocks on the legs, gimbal bracers on the arms, and emergency protocols on the torso. And as well as the helmet also has the data-based mod to get extra intelligence. And you're going to see why in a moment here, why we're trying to get our intelligence so high. With all the perks that I'm running and the armor that I am in, my intelligence is at 37 right now, which is giving me a buff of 37% extra fire damage from Pyrotechnician, which is why we have all that intelligence stacked up. Here's the other set of armor that I use for fighting other bosses. It is a Vulcan armor set, 1 piece auto stim, 1 piece chameleon, 3 pieces nocturnals. You don't necessarily need auto stim. You could change this 4th piece to be also nocturnals to have extra AP. And then it's, again, nocturnals, +2 endurance, food and drink, chem weight, and limit breaking. I go back and forth. Sometimes I'll put +2 intelligence on this armor set if I want to do extra damage. And sometimes I feel like I'm just taking a ton of damage, so I run +2 endurance. Either way, +2 intelligence or +2 endurance are going to be great stars for your bloodied build. If you're a ghoul, you definitely don't need endurance. You could just run +2 intelligence without any issue since you're going to be naturally tankier. You may be wondering why my carry weight's showing 999. I'm just on a custom world right now just to make it easier for myself to do some testing and stuff. Just to show you, though, the only thing I have done is that the carry weight is cranked up. The stuff that you can carry for this build, I mean, you definitely can easily be under 350 pounds for everything you need. So weight's not really an issue. I just have the weight turned up on the server so I could test stuff and not worry about what I'm picking up and stuff. Looking at our special loadout here, here is the special point allocation. Feel free to take a screenshot if you'd like. Diving into the actual legendary cards to start here. We have 4 special cards maxed out, and then we have follow through and take you one for the team maxed out. Over in strength, we have easy target for extra damage against crippled targets. Bullet storm to obviously gain damage from that. Lock and load to gain increased reload speed on our heavy weapons and also keep half of our stacks when we reload. Arms keeper to reduce our weapons weight. Center Masochist for extra damage against the EN06 Guardian. Number Cruncher for extra damage. Tank Killer for extra damage to ignore armor. Tormentor for extra damage when we are crippling targets. And then just 2 ranks of Concentrated Fire for a little bit of extra damage when we're using VATS. In Endurance, we have Life Giver, Radical, Starch Genes, Bullet Shield. The most 2 important ones are going to be probably, or I guess Radical is not absolutely needed, but it's nice for carry weight purposes. But Life Giver, Bullet Shield, Starch Genes, that's definitely a must for a bloodied build, in my opinion. Over in Charisma, we have Strange Numbers and Tenderizer. Over in Intelligence, we have Nerd Rage, Field Surgeon, Power User, Demolition Expert, Pyrotechnician, batteries included, and Good with Salt. So a lot of perks stacked into Intelligence, and that's mostly just because we want our Intelligence as high as possible. You don't need all of this stuff. I would say at the very least, you want batteries included, Pyrotechnician, Power User, just to make your fusion cores go a little bit further. Field Surgeon, so you can stay alive while you're tanking damage during the EN06, and then Nerd Rage for that extra damage there. Over in Agility, we have various slot-ins of the Onslaught / Gunslinger, Gorilla, those sort of perk cards, and then we have Covert Operative maxed out for extra sneak damage to attack the Guardian with after we break its shield. In Luck, we have Class Freak, Ricochet, One Gun Army to reflect extra limb damage back to the Guardian, better criticals, and critical savvy. Now, if I were to run this as a Ghoul, I'd say one thing you could definitely take out is just to remove Nerd Rage and then add those 2 points to luck, and then you could run faulty spots. And then you could also probably, you could run glowing criticals, but then your luck is going to be, I mean, your luck is pretty much full just with that already. You could get rid of One Gun Army if you don't plan on using it to cripple the Guardian a lot, but yeah, the main difference is I would just run faulty spots in luck. There's not too much else I would change in this build, honestly. If you're switching to a Ghoul, this is a pretty universal build here. Also, if you really wanted to, you could add I don't know if I have it on this character or not. There's a perk called Radiation Power for Ghouls. That's also a good add if you're going to use this with a Ghoul character too. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to boost it to a further audience. Subscribe if you haven't already to stick around for future content. And thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a good one.